We are back. We've got the Week 12 weekly video today. No Ryan in the booth, but we are joined by Max once again. Say what's up.
Hey everybody, so excited to be here.
I'm very excited you're here because now we got some. We haven't had you on in a couple weeks, so good to hear maybe where your head's at since the last time we had you on. But we got
Yeah, well
Josh.
my
Go ahead.
my world was turned upside down last since I've been here last, so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, what was? What do you mean by that?
So,
You're still at the top. Your team's still
in
good.
short, I mean immediately after I talked about how happy I was watching the Packers,
Oh.
Tucker Kraft tore his ACL and then the Packers dropped two in a row to the Panthers and the Eagles. So,
Yeah.
no nice things will be said about Green Bay today.
Could be worse. You could be a Bengals fan.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Josh Allen came in big last week, and we'll mention it. Like Walker needed it. There's a world where Walker dies if Josh Allen puts up only like 20 or something. So 45 points from Josh Allen, you'll be safe any week if one of your guys scores 45 points. But Jonny, unfortunately, not who anyone expected. No one voted for him. Jonny gets chopped, ninth place. Came down to Josh Jacobs getting hurt, and then Drake May, who had been so good and consistent, had one of his worst weeks of the season, which isn't even saying much. It was like 15 points or something like that. But not enough to make up for the Josh Jacob injury and a couple other just not so great performances. So Jonny gets ninth place. And now congrats everyone else, by the way. You're all in the Elite Eight. So, woohoo. Elite Eight. I'm not in it this year, so I'm sad. But congrats to you guys. It's not easy to get here. And for the Grim Reapers, I've kept the list on the left going, and I don't have as many pictures as I did last time because one, I'm done cropping out pictures of NFL players, and two, I don't think a lot of these guys are really going to continue to be Grim Reapers, or at least it's not their fault. Like, I took off McBride, I took off Amon Ra, at least their pictures at least, because I don't foresee them being. I mean, they're rostered and they're probably being started. I took off Caleb Williams because he's not being even started at this point. So either I think if I took them off, I either think they're a good enough player that I don't think they should be blamed for people getting eliminated with them, or like Caleb Williams, they're not even being started anymore. But I kept some on here. We still got Xavier Worthy and Sutton as the two guys that have 3 eliminations, but that's where we stand. The new ones this week from Jonny's team were Oronde, Brees Hall, Drake London, and Aaron Jones. So, and I'm pretty sure all those guys got picked up.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So somebody's going to get struck down by one of those guys again. I don't think anyone has Cortland Sutton right now.
Nope.
I know Ben's got Devontae Smith
He
and
does.
Brees Hall.
Fleming, who's a common vote this week, has Chase Brown. We've got the Patriots this week. So
Some exciting news for Bengals fans, though. Burrow's taking the first team reps at practice. He might play this week.
I know. That's crazy. There's a world where he plays this week, which is crazy. And I think I kind of have a weird feeling we are going to start him this week because we're being, this is not suspicious. We're being secretive about it. Like we don't want the Patriots to prepare for Joe Burrow, so we want to give them as little notice as possible if Burrow is actually playing. So now the Patriots have to prepare for either quarterback, whatever that looks like on their end. Probably helps us out for them not knowing. So I like it. And I'd be excited to have something. It's not Joe Flacco's fault, but that we're losing games. But I would sure enjoy watching some Joey B again for the first time in like 3 months. All right. I think that's enough on the Grim Reapers. Top 25% of last week. Oh, wait. Did I not flip? Ben's going to be mad because I think Ben was the top scorer this week and Jack was second. Or no, it was Ben. I didn't change the pictures at all. It's Ben and then Jake were the top two. So my apologies. I did not change the pictures, but these numbers are correct.
Darn. Oh, no. How are we going to celebrate Ben now?
I know. Ben's
That
first
sucks.
star of the year. What are we going to do?
Better luck next time.
Better luck. You just got to do it again, Ben. And then I won't forget. But yeah, Ben and Jake averaging 138. ceiling came down pretty significantly from last week. It was like in the high 150s or 160 or something. So, yeah. Bottom 25% from week 11. The floor went down again. We got Jonny getting chopped, Fleming getting the trash can, and Potter somewhat unexpectedly getting the ice cube, but he got it with like a 95 points or something like that. So it's kind of it's a loose ice cube, but it's an ice cube nonetheless. He helped bring this average up because these two averaged in the 70s, and he pulled it up to 80. So that's still down 2% week over week. And how that looks on the box and whisker, we can see that here. The floor has actually continued to go down, funny enough, the last 3 weeks. And the ceiling was pretty low this week. The lowest ceiling in the last 4 weeks. I mean, this week is still so insane to look at, like how tight this was. And this is when I got eliminated, which I had a higher score than Ryan and Jonny the last 2 weeks. And you could even go back to here and point out JC and Joey getting chopped with over 80 points. And now we got Jonny getting chopped with like 72 7 weeks later. It's funny how that works, but bye weeks and such. There's been a bye weeks there's been a team on bye every week since week 4, so there's that. Still fun to look at. All right, the Charmin Ultrasoft play of the week. As we know, this was a new segment last week. Actually, you can give a shout out to Max here for inspiring the segment. But no one this week. It was a quiet week. I'm not going to just put something on here to put something on here. Someone has to do something actually worthy of being shamed. I don't know. Max, do you feel differently? Do you think there was anything anyone did this week that we need to call out?
No cowards this week. Jake is still wearing his baby diaper, pissing his pants every week. But no cowards this week. But we'll see as the group gets smaller, especially with the double elimination looming here. We're gonna probably see a lot of questionable reverse jinxes here coming up soon. So
yeah,
looking forward to it.
That I do look forward to that because I mean, if we go back a couple weeks, I said those that are in like the bottom tier right now, someone is going to make it out of it and probably make the final 4. So far, the survivors still from that are Fleming and Mitchell. Me and Ryan got chopped, and then I think Ben I kind of had just outside of the bottom tier, but Ben's still alive. After this week, Mitchell or Fleming, at least one of those two, is still going to be alive, which is crazy, and they'll make it to once there's 6 people left, so after 2 more weeks of single eliminations, once there's 6 people left, then there's going to be a double elimination, and I believe that'll be week 14, when there's no teams on bye. So everyone will have their full roster outside of injuries, and that'll be a gritty week. A third of the league is getting chopped in that week. And I look forward to the chaos. Let's look at the waiver wire. We got the big names being Josh Jacobs, the biggest one. Max, you might know better than us. It does not seem like he is likely to play this week, right?
I don't think the practice reports have come out. I can take a quick look. I mean, the good news for Jacobs and the Packers is that it wasn't anything serious. I'm looking online right now. It looks like Josh Jacobs is back at practice, so he usually on a Thursday, that means that the guy's probably going to play. I don't know if he's going to get the full allotment of snaps because Emmanuel Wilson did fill in pretty nice for him.
Yeah.
So you might be looking at more of a split than we're used to this week, but I'm happy he's playing for sure.
Yeah. And I think
or at least he's trending to play.
That will be an interesting one to monitor because for Jack Colston's team, he normally has James Cook and Achane are his 2 guys. Achane's on bye, so now he has Jalen Warren as his RB2, but Jalen Warren is questionable and not guaranteed to play. At least on Fantasy Pros, they're not assuming he's playing, but it says he's moving around well on Thursday, so he's probably playing. But if Jalen Warren were to not play, his only other running back is Emmanuel Wilson, which if Josh Jacobs plays, Emmanuel Wilson is not a good play. So we'll have to see what Jack does, but it seems like Warren will play, and then he doesn't have an issue. $7. Potter gets Josh Jacobs. Potter's already got a really strong team, and for an end game running back, which I think we would all agree Josh Jacobs is, I think $7 is a good price to pay. if Walker won this bid, that's almost half of what Walker has left. So he'd be not sitting with not much fab left. And then with Brees, Ben gets Brees for 5, and then Ben gets Judkins for 5. These are guys who you're not as confident in as like end game starters like Jacobs, but you could flex them in the end game. I think these next 2 weeks, as we just mentioned, the double elimination, you guys got to prepare for that. Everyone's going to want to be looking as strong as possible going into that week so you don't get chopped when the odds are very high to get chopped. And then Drake London. Jack Colston gets him at $3, and then as we'll show later, he trades him away. But not a bad investment, I don't think, for $3, even though he is hurt and not playing this week. And I'm not sure, to be honest, when he's projected to come back. He's not on IR, so I think at best, he just misses this week, but he might miss a couple. Don't actually know, though, 100%. Tonight, we got the Bills and the Texans. The Texans' defense has been... ignore that. I forgot to change the top line. We were scrambling this week to get this thing ready. What I should say is, well, one, we don't know if Stroud is playing, and two, the Texans' defense has been really good. So if to the point of Walker's team, if Josh Allen does not have a great game, I know he has Jonathan Taylor back from bye, but like Walker might not be feeling too good after tonight. If Josh Allen does not put up 20 plus at the very least, and then Fleming he's not starting. I'm not starting Khalil Shakir. I think that's probably a good call. I was going to say that's risky against the Texans secondary, but who knows? Shakir seems to pop off at the most random times, but his performance last week was not inspiring. And then I think only other thing that's really interesting to look at is Woody Marks. Potter is only starting Woody Marks. He has the auto sub feature on. Only starting Woody Marks if Josh Jacobs is out. So otherwise, Marks is not being started.
CJ Stroud's actually already been ruled out.
Okay, there
this
you go.
week. So that doesn't seem to impact Nico Collins too much, at least the last couple weeks. Davis Mills
almost feels better for him.
Yeah, and his extendo neck can clearly see him everywhere on the field. So Nico's been peppered with targets, and that's just lovely, lovely stuff, especially against a defense that really hasn't been that good this year. So we'll see. I mean, Houston has the number 1 overall defense on the year, so if they can stop Allen, they stop the Bills, and it could go sideways for the Bills, but hopefully not. I'm rooting for the Bills here tonight.
Are the Texans like on pace to make the playoffs? I mean, they've got to be somewhere in the 7 seed hunt.
I think there are like 4 or 5 teams in the 7 seed hunt right now. If the playoffs ended today, they definitely would not be in there. I think the 7th seed currently belongs to Jacksonville, and then like Kansas City and Baltimore are also right around the Texans.
Baltimore's going to win. Let's be honest. Baltimore's going to win the division, and then
probably.
I would hope the Steelers just don't even make the playoffs at all. But we'll see.
You never know.
You never know. The Bengals could win the rest of their games and go 10-7.
Yeah, I'm in hell. The Bears are at the top of the division right now.
Oh my gosh, what is going on there?
This is the worst timeline.
Packers and Lions fans can agree. What the hell is going on here? But yeah, that's tonight. Not too many players, but enough to make it somewhat interesting. And I'm curious to see if the Texans D is good enough to stop the Bills. Once again, did not change the line here. I said last week something about Jake Potter, blah blah blah. I erased part of it. It's a sloppy week. All right, I think actually we're good after this. But it's Panthers, Niners. Christian McCaffrey returning to play in the Panthers. Kind of forget McCaffrey was ever on the Panthers because I just remember him so much as a 49er as of late. But we got Dowdle, McMillan, Purdy, who Fleming, I believe, is starting again this week. That is correct. So Fleming, one of the favorites to go this week, will be riding potentially on Purdy's performance and Pearsall's performance, who he has in the lineup even after the 1 catch for 0 yards. Is that what it was? Yeah, 1 catch on 2 targets for 0 yards. Early season was a fan of Pearsall. Maybe just a little bit of growing, I don't know, getting the rust, shaking the rust off. He was on the field for most of the game, so the opportunities are there. Just needs to get the targets. And, well, we're on Fleming's team. He also has Bucky Irving, who looks like he is finally going to return against the Rams on Sunday night. So he will have Bucky and Purdy and Pearsall to close out his week this week.
That is a brutal matchup to walk into if you're Bucky Irving.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely brutal.
Rams and Texans have been tough on D. And then Kittle, Mitchell, who's another always will be. It seems to be a voting favorite, although not the favorite this week. Still receiving some votes. Has Kittle on Monday night, so that'll be something to watch as well. I think the Monday nights have become much less like exhilarating for mainly the reason that there's less teams, and that means there's less people starting people on Monday night, and there's less. It's not as possible to make a panic move. People in general aren't making panic moves because every one of their starters is considered a good starter at this point. There's only 8 teams in the league, so everyone's got good starters. So, when there's 18 teams, you easily have an upgradable slot somewhere. But right now, no one, like with Jonny going into, the 4 o'clock window with just Judkins left, and in theory, yeah, he could upgrade Judkins, and I think he tried to look for some kind of upgrade without breaking the bank too much. But Judkins could have gone off even if he traded for someone else instead of Judkins. So it's becoming less and less likely that someone's going to do a big blockbuster panic trade just for that reason alone.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, I'm hoping that's not me. I've got McMillan and the 49ers defense this week.
Okay.
So there are going to be more people watching this game than you probably realize. And if I do need to make a panic move, I mean, we'll see what happens. I hope it just doesn't come to that, and I can kind of hang out, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there is a world where let's say Fleming feels screwed. Would he try to trade for McMillan to upgrade Pearsall?
Possibly.
Or you know what I mean?
Possibly. There's no way you're getting CMC from Jake, probably.
Probably not, unless you're Potter or Jack and offer a lot of fab, because Jake could probably just get him right back. But Jake has Jamar on suspension this week, so
he could be in a tough spot.
He's not looking perfect. He's looking decent, but not perfect anymore. Yeah, that's Monday night. We'll see how it goes. All right, Week 11 standings. Pretty much the top has stayed the same. I think Max, you and Walker just flipped this week, so you're back in the top 3 on the season for points for. Jonny getting chopped this week. Still scored more points on the year than Ben, Mitchell, and Fleming. But everyone should. Mitchell and Fleming could put up a bad week and not pass Jonny in points this week. But everyone should pass Jonny, hopefully, after this week. And a look at the economy. We're down to just $118 left, and Jack Colston owns 31% of it. $37. Potter owns 22% of the market with $26. Ben and Jake have a good chunk. Walker right around the median. And then Mitchell, Fleming, Max. You guys don't have much to work with. It's kind of been that way for the last 2 or 3 weeks that you guys don't have fab. So you're used to it. You're managing. There's plenty of guys out there that you can improve with while spending $0. And
exactly.
I think you guys have been doing it.
Yep. Gate and bye.
Exactly. And our bye weeks this week: Chargers, Broncos, Dolphins, Commanders. It's not like a crazy bye week. I think the biggest names are like Achane. And Achane's by far probably the biggest name out of these 4 teams. The Chargers have a lot of guys, but no one that's like huge. You're gonna have Hampton coming back after the bye.
God, I hope so. I'm resting a lot of my hope on Hampton coming back after that bye.
Yeah.
I've been diamond hands all year, and I'm really hoping I live to see Hampton available to me this week or next week. But again, I don't know. There have been reports he's been working on side field, so I'm hoping he's back. Oh my God, I've been counting the days. It's been a long, long time.
All right. But yeah, it's I struggle to find really any stud on these teams besides we could say Hampton and Achane.
Waddle's been really good this year.
Waddle has been solid, but Debo on the Commanders is about all you can get from there, and then Broncos, R.J. Harvey maybe, Bo Nix, No one's picked up Sutton yet, but maybe someone will. I still believe that Sutton will come back to being like a consistent producer, but I don't know if anyone's going to trust him enough to start him. It is a risk from what he's been doing. All right, the graphs, and we got shaking it up a little bit this week. Look who's snuck down in the red here this week, and that's Jack. And to be fair, for the Fantasy Pros side, they think Jalen Warren is not playing, meaning they think Emmanuel Wilson is his RB2. But they also think Josh Jacobs isn't playing, so they think Emmanuel Wilson is the RB1 on the Packers. So it's like, either way, balanced out because Sleeper also has him the third lowest. Mitchell and Fleming, the two far lowest down here. Fantasy Pros thinks Mitchell is like substantially better than Fleming, but Sleeper's like, pretty much the same. Then we got Walker, Max, Ben, Jake, Potter, pretty much in a straight line going up. But across both platforms, they agree. They agree this is the order this week. So, that's that. And then next week versus rest of season, we can see where that shakes up a little bit. Ben looks good this week, but not great rest of season. Third worst rest of season, but third best this week. Just based off of matchups, I don't think he's really hurt by buys this week. Let me look at his team real fast. He's not hurt by buys or injuries this week, so he just has the full capacity of his team, and he added in Judkins and Breece Hall, who both have decent matchups, you could say. So, one to watch, though, is Travion Henderson, because he's been great. Finally, blew up, but I think we're getting Ramondre back this week, and I'm curious what that does to that backfield. So, yeah. And then Jack and Walker both looking good rest of season, but not as good this week. Jack already mentioned in the last week slide, he's not looking great this week relative to the top where he normally is. And this would agree, but he looked good for rest of season. And then it's Potter, Jake, Max. You guys are all in the green for both. Lastly, the budget and position strength chart. Fleming and Mitchell still in the red. They don't have fab to spend. Max, you are considered to have the strongest team. That would take into account Amari and Hampton coming back rest of season. So you're looking good on the strength side. Just have very little fab. And then Ben and Walker both kind of in the intermediate where you Ben having the budget, but his team is kind of weak, so he can still spend it and improve. And then Walker pretty much right down the middle, we'll call him. And then Jake, Potter, and Jack all doing really well. Jack sitting with the most fab and in definitely the most powerful position. Going back 2 weeks, I think Potter maybe could have spent his money a little better and been right here without even really changing who he got. He overbid on a couple guys that one waiver period where he got, Saquon and Amon-Ra. So, hindsight 2020 for him, but he could have more fab at this point had he done that better. So in summary, I've got Potter and Jake as the only threes in the top right. I have Jack, who looks good rest of season with the fab and with his team without Achane on bye, but this week he's not looking perfect. So there is a world where something could happen to Jack this week. And then Max, your team's really strong. You just have $2, so hence why you're over here. I think Ben and Walker both are kind of floating around the middle, to be determined what they do with their average amount of fab and average, above average-ish teams. And then Mitchell and Fleming down in the 0 category, as where they have been every week. And it doesn't matter because they survive. All right. Team by team. Ben first. Henderson with a 30 bomb, and then Dak with a nice 24. This week he looks like he's going to be rolling with Goff, just based off of matchups. Goff has the Giants. Dak is questionable and has the Eagles, so those things considered, he's throwing in Goff. But he's got a decent enough squad across the board. Like I said, Travion is one to keep an eye on. And Devonta Smith is still a guy that just worries me. I mean, last week against Detroit, he had 1 catch for a yard. So it's he could put up duds at any given moment. Maybe you'd say he wouldn't do it 2 weeks in a row, but Devonta Smith always worries me. Apparently, according to Fantasy Pros, they're saying bench Breece Hall.
I agree with that.
which, and he has ETN. No, he has Brees and ETN on the bench.
Yeah, I agree with the fantasy pros. It's just going to be the Jets are going to get absolutely curb stomped by the Ravens, and their defense is finally turning a corner.
Kind of is, yeah.
All you got to do is stack the box against Brees Hall, and then you know Baltimore's corners are good enough to say, well, let's let Adonai Mitchell or John Mechie or any of those guys try and beat us over the top. Um, I don't. I think. I mean, Ben's team is fine. I worry about Goff sometimes because this could be a game where if Gibbs or Monty just run the ball down their throats and they're up 30-0 before you blink, Goff's probably not going to have to do a whole lot. You just got to hope that New York hangs around, and I guess a lot of that depends on if Jackson Dart's going to play this week or not. I thought I heard something that was saying maybe he's going to play, so that would be good news for Ben. But
Yeah.
that one could be freaky a little bit if the game just gets out of hand immediately for New York and Jared Goff can just sit back and just hand the ball off all day.
Right. I mean, knowing Dart, his injury is just a concussion. I'm pretty sure he's going to
Just
play this week.
concussion.
I think he's going
Yeah.
to play this week, knowing him. So yeah, that would be good probably for a lot of people for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Jake, second place, adding another flame to his slate here. McCaffrey and Bijan doing what he would expect them to do. Although, like last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, when they both put up pretty modest performances. It can happen, but this is what they normally do. One of them's going to go for 30 or high 20s, and then you're going to feel good. Without Jamar this week, he's probably going to need that again from one of them. He still has like Genty and Zay Flowers in there, which are solid enough pieces. Let me see who he actually has started. Yeah, it is Genty and
That's
Flowers.
actually exactly who he has. This is his exact
is.
starting lineup right now.
I took the Bills defense off of my, the picture of the Bills on the Grim Reaper slide because I didn't think anyone was starting them. I didn't even double check that, but he is starting the Bills defense against Houston, which
It's a
maybe
bold choice.
Bills are the 16th defense. I mean, they do okay, but I don't know if this is the. I'm sure there's better options out there, but we are seeing a lot of teams starting to hold on to two defenses at this point because defenses are starting to matter a lot. But yeah, we'll see what Jake does with Jamar suspended. Didn't do.
I mean, he's already peeing down his leg. It's just we'll see. We'll see how comfortable he feels going into the weekend. If I was him, I'd be worried a little bit about Bijan going forward. I don't know if he'll be as
Really.
good rest of the season with the issues. Well, yeah, with no Penix and no Drake London to stretch the field, and you got a washed Kirk Cousins
You
throwing the
got
ball.
Darnell
Teams are going
Mooney
to
to
start.
stretch the field.
That's true. I think I saw somebody starting Darnell Mooney. I'll have to figure that
Yeah.
out. I take back everything I just said.
I am excited. If I was still in the league, I would have been scooping up Darnell Mooney and throwing him into my flex as fast as possible, because that was my guy last year. Yeah, so he has a sweet spot in my heart. So I would have absolutely been starting him with Kirk throwing him the ball and London out. So Jack, hopefully you get to enjoy him. Which I think we're about to hit Jack's team. Yep, Jack, here we go. I think I should have put that he picked up Mooney, but somehow I didn't put that on here.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. But he is in the picture for the Fantasy Pros graph. He not just like on a biased opinion. He is actually considered his best option to start at his flex too, and that's really only over. He has a lot of guys on bye, so there's not actually a lot of options. But we're gonna take it. It's only over Emmanuel Wilson because he has Achane on bye, Gadsden on bye, Broncos D on bye. Yeah, so Jack is definitely getting hit the most by this bye week with Achane, Gadsden, and the Broncos D, but he's got the Ravens D filling in, and he already had Ferguson anyway. They're playing Philly. That's a tough matchup, but other than that, his team looks pretty solid. Jalen Warren, questionable, we'll have to see, and he'll have James Cook on Thursday.
So, yeah, I think he's looking pretty good this week. He's just gotta hope that Darnell Mooney just wins in the week. But no, Jalen Warren's going to play. It looks like practice today, so things are looking up for him.
Absolutely. And
I don't
actually,
understand how Jalen Hurts. Okay, actually, yeah, Jalen Hurts has been not very good for fantasy this year. Um, but going against Dallas, they'll make anybody look good. So we'll see if he actually needs to do something on Sunday. It's the same deal with Goff, right? Like Philly should absolutely just steamroll the Cowboys, and Jalen Hurts may just be able to give the ball to Saquon and just kind of let him do all the work. You
right.
never really know with matchups like this.
I missed one thing in his trades. I forgot that he did do the trade with Jonny to give him Drake London. He got Ibuka and 7 fab, so that is how he ended up netting positive fab on the week. He netted 7 from that, and then he spent 3 on London again after Jonny dies and drops him, gets him back for 3, and he spends 2 across these trades. Ultimately, he just got Devontae Adams for Nico Collins, Drake London, Odunze, and 2 fab. I think that's a lot. I don't. I mean, Adams last week had 1
Yeah.
catch for the touchdown. He must have a very high opinion of Devontae Adams. Maybe he's got a good stretch of games schedule wise or something, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of faith to be putting in one guy. I'd much rather have. I know London's hurt. No, Dunze's not been really that great or reliable anymore, but so I guess that's where it's coming from. You're losing an unreliable guy in Odunze, an injured guy in London, and then you're upgrading from Nico to Adams, which I guess most would probably agree is an upgrade, but not that much of a difference, right?
No, I think Jack really does like Devonte Adams, and I like Devonte Adams. But we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, he kind of timed the market right and picked up some of the right guys while getting lucky and avoiding that London injury. But we'll see. I mean, he was definitely. It seemed like he was definitely looking at a few people to offload Nico, and which I'm not sure why. But he asked me, and I was just asking for too much, and I just wasn't willing to really play ball.
For Nico.
Um, yeah, yeah, I like Nico, but not for what he was offering,
You only have 2
unfortunately.
fab anyway, so
Yeah.
not much to work with, unless you're obviously giving him a player. I mean, hey, London went for $3. You can get people for you're gonna. There's gonna be a week here in the coming weeks where you're gonna get a stud for $2 on waivers with those last $2 of
Mhm.
yours.
Oh, I'm waiting.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this works out for Jack with Devonte Adams. All right, Max. Ted McMillan, huge week.
Yeah.
You got Waddle
Uh,
for free.
I'll pour out one for Derek. I know he was waiting long for the Ted McMillan breakout, but unfortunately he did not get to live to see it.
Oh, you
It
mean
was
David? You mean?
David. Sorry, fuck, my bad.
I was like Derek Henry. What are
Um,
we talking about?
Derek. Oh no, David.
You combined our names.
Yeah, I did. I've got a whole lot going on, but yeah, no, he did not get to live to see the breakout, and I pour one out for him and
And
tell
McBride.
him that it was glorious, and his spirit will ride on as long as Tet continues to play well for my team. Um, as far as the team goes, yeah, Waddle for free is pretty awesome. The rest of it is just we're just gonna kind of see how this shit goes. I don't know why it says I'm gonna start Kamara. That is
You got
quite
Pittman.
quite
Actually,
the interesting
Sleeper even
choice.
says Kamara has a higher projected points than Pittman. But wow, Kamara's got an easy schedule to end. It's all green from here for the
It is
rest of
all
the
green.
season. Although he's not that exciting otherwise.
No, and even if he's got a green schedule, I'm still terrified to play him. I'd
Scored
rather
one
roll.
time on the year.
I'd rather roll the dice with Michael Pittman here. But we'll see if I hold my nerve. Yeah, I mean, because if you're talking, Kamara has a great schedule. Michael Pittman has like the complete opposite. My God, it is. It is a
KC,
bloodbath for the
Houston,
next 4
Seattle.
weeks.
Brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta hold firm, and thank God I got Jalen Waddle when I did, because if I survive, he might be taking Pittman's spot here.
Yeah, I think that makes
Um,
sense.
we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy to just kind of keep on keeping on. Mahomes had a bad week, but I didn't even end up playing him. So we'll see. I think this team probably goes as far as Mahomes and Rice can carry me. Because I don't have as many of the big names as some of these other guys do, and JJ's been such a disappointment this year. It's just
Yeah.
been so sad that 9 is ruining Justin Jefferson's season, and then San Francisco being the worst defense on the week is pretty surprising for me.
Yeah, they just haven't been that exciting. They haven't been
Yeah,
scoring. They're the 26th
yeah,
ranked defense on the season. Scored double
yeah. I
digit
mean,
points once.
yeah, it's a lot to ask for Bryce Young to do what he did again against a better team on the
I don't
opposite
know.
coast. So
I don't know. Bryce Young caught fire at the end of last season, if you all remember that.
that's
So
true.
I feel like that's going to happen again here, where
Yeah,
Bryce Young is going to pop off for like a couple weeks here to end the season.
yeah.
Keep his
Sorry,
job.
David, forget your name wrong. I was looking at a picture of Derrick Henry and I just was enamored.
But yeah, I think McBride as well, not only for David's sake, but as one of the guys that'll keep carrying you. I think he's just going to keep putting up a lot of points every week, it feels like. So,
Yeah, Jonny would have survived last week, except he wouldn't meet my fab demands for Trey McBride.
what were you
So
demanding now that he's
I was
dead?
demanding 20,
That's
and
a
we
lot.
were he was stuck in the high teens. I wouldn't settle for anything less, and unfortunately, um, poor Jonny. I'll pour one out for him, but just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, it's tough. That is tough. All right, on to Walker's team. He's got JT coming back from bye. He's got Josh Allen playing tonight, and Nico Collins playing tonight. Now, is that right? Why did I must have missed that on my. Yeah, he's got Nico Collins tonight. Okay, so he's got a lot going on, and he's done by 4 o'clock on Sunday. So Walker is one to watch. He was my vote last week, and I was essentially right. My thinking was if Josh, like, it was exactly what it was. If Josh Allen doesn't pop off, I could see the rest of his team doing pretty bad. And guess what? Not a single player on his team scored more than 10, other than like Javonte Williams did not score 10. He scored like 9.8 or something like that. So that is like abysmal at this point of the season for not a single double digit scorer other than one guy. You're just happy that one guy scored you 45. So I'm just going to toot my own horn because I have not gotten a prediction right this year yet, but that was as close as I've gotten to getting a prediction correct. But Josh Allen did Josh Allen things, and now he's got JT back, so he probably doesn't need to expect that anymore.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It's his team's tricky. It's really tricky. You don't really know what's going to happen. He has Josh Allen, but again, going against that elite defense, if it's a 10-7 ugly game and Nico Collins doesn't score, he's in big, 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 big trouble. We've gotten a few of those 10-7 games over the last couple of weeks, and in my eyes, this game tonight is probably going to end up going the same way if the Houston defense plays as well as they have.
Right.
So
And
we'll see. I mean, he could be in a spot where he's already staring down the barrel if these guys don't produce.
yeah, I think I'd put the line at like 30 points. If these two guys score less than 30 points, is when you maybe start getting a little worried.
Yeah.
They're projected 23 and 12, so 35 in theory is what they're expected to do. But we'll see.
JT and Javante don't have great matchups this week either.
Not really, no. So
So you don't know really.
Wandale with Dart against Detroit could be a sneaky good
That's
matchup.
yeah. And then, well, Pittsburgh's defense is finally starting to come alive. I really hope Aaron Rodgers plays this weekend. I want to see him beat the Bears one last time. And then I don't know. I mean, a lot of his guys have tough matchups, so he'll probably kind of know what he has to do here when the fit hits the shan, if things go sideways.
Right.
So, and if Taylor hits the waiver wire again this week, it's going to be Armageddon. People are going to be going
I mean,
ballistic.
I just think Jack Colston goes for it. But then the question is, does Jack Colston bid more than what Potter can even bid, aka spending most of his fab to get Jonathan Taylor? It'd be an interesting thing. I kind of want to see like a stud like that, like a guy that's considered one of the best players to have. And I'd be very curious to see how the bidding would go with that.
Yeah.
Mitchell, not getting an ice cube this week. Kittle and JMO did good things for him this week. Kittle, he just got in the trade from Jack. I think that was ultimately a great move. Finally got the upgrade from Hawk. He did spend $1 on waivers for Vidal, even though I don't think Vidal is going to be the starter anymore unless somehow Hampton is not ready the week after the bye. Then maybe you get one more game out of Vidal. And he traded with Jack to get Odunze for $1. I mentioned Odunze is kind of tricky because he's not super reliable, not as reliable as he was at the beginning. But if you guys remember, Mitchell drafted Odunze and had Odunze for the first 4 or 5 weeks when he was popping off, and that's when he was getting his flames here. But now, not looking as great as he did. But he got Stafford as well. He's got Stafford in, even though he has Dart. I don't think even if Dart plays, he's going to start Dart, even though I do think that could be a good matchup.
Dart's on waivers.
Oh, he dropped Dart officially.
Yeah, he doesn't have Dart anymore. Dart's on waivers.
Never mind. No more Dart. Dart is awesome. I think, I don't know who he has after this week. Let me see. New England.
He's got a bye in a couple weeks.
New England, bye, and then Washington. And then Las Vegas. There's a world where, I'll call it now, when the final 4 teams, Jackson Dart at Las Vegas in the championship is absolutely startable. Assuming there's 2 other quarterbacks that are off the board, because they will be on an eliminated team's locked roster. That'd be an interesting one. We'll see.
He'd have to have some major stones to do that.
Dart's been... Dude, he's... Look at his... What is he, the QB? Okay, he's the QB 15, but that's he didn't play the first 3 weeks.
Oh, no. I 100% agree with what you're saying. It's just you'd have to have some major stones to put him in over because there are only 4 teams left, right? So that guarantees that a Hurts, Daniels, if he comes back, a Lamar, a Burrow,
but some teams might have 2 of these quarterbacks. There could be a team.
That is true.
So there might not be the 4 best quarterbacks. If you might be only getting the 6th best quarterback available, and that could be Jackson Dart, low key. He just
could be.
We'll see. I don't know. I like to look ahead and think about these things.
Yep.
And if anyone happens to be watching,
and the crazy thing too is Matt Stafford being the number 6 quarterback is a little weird to me.
It's got to be matchup.
Tampa's defense is soft, and he is currently the betting favorite for MVP. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
Allen, Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar, not Goff, and then someone else probably.
That would be.
It's going to be right here, Drake May. Against
Drake
the Bengals is number 1.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So 6 is still good.
Yeah.
At this point, by the way, I was going to say, I should have mentioned, yellow is essentially the equivalent of red at this point on your graphs because you're only yellow if you're 6, 7, or 8. 6th, 7th, or 8th in your position. So a lot of yellow here. He's got Kittle, but other than that, it's all yellow.
He's made some kind of deal with the devil. I don't know. He's done something.
I foresee prediction. Kenneth Walker is finally going to have a breakout week. It's going to be 30 points. I don't know why. I just have a feeling they're playing the Titans.
Heard it here first. Hammer those overs.
Kenneth Walker is just going crazy this week. There's my bold prediction of the week. I should have a slide for that. All right, Potter's team. Other way around. All green, across the board. His worst player, relatively speaking, is Saquon at the RB1, which is a funny way to look at that. He gets Jacobs, which Jacobs might play, and then if Jacobs does play, then yeah, he gets the nod over Woody Marks. And he got May for $1. That's a good use of $1, I would say. May might be ending.
For sure. For
But
sure.
last week was not too inspiring for his team. No one over 15 points, but it was enough to get him by, and I think he's looking fine.
Yeah, he looks great. No notes.
Nothing crazy going on there. Fleming, last living team to report on getting his first trash can of the year. Purdy was the crazy. Remember, I said it in the chat when it happened. I was like, "Oh, you're dropping Rodgers?" Like he dropped Rodgers right before 1 p.m. and picked up Purdy. He'd be dead if he didn't do that. So good work, good last second management there. Sometimes it's those last second decisions that can kill you, but sometimes it's those last second changes that can save your season. And then Michael Wilson went crazy last week. It was 15 of 18 for like 180 yards, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And a touchdown? Or no? Maybe it was not even
no
a touchdown.
30. He scored
almost.
26 points without scoring a touchdown.
Crazy.
I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable stuff. Brissett actually, he's been a really good play at quarterback in traditional leagues. And maybe if somebody gets nervous, you'll like YOLO and pull the Brissett thing out of your back end and put him in. He's been, ever since he got the starting job, he's been averaging, let me see, he's put up 21, 19, 24, 19, 23 points. So he's been averaging over 20 points a week the last few weeks.
Very consistently too. Like there aren't bad weeks in the middle of that. Those are all consistent. Mm-hmm. So he almost would be like, if you wanted to spend $0 on a quarterback right now, and like I would have no problem with someone rolling out Brissett as like a safe floor.
Yeah, and oh my gosh. Yeah, I know I don't like to look far ahead, but on the off chance somebody decides to do something crazy, Brissett has Cincinnati in week 17. So there might be a world where somebody is just like putting Brissett out there week 17, hoping they get another insane performance. I actually have him in another league, and I might actually end up starting him week 17
in the championship. They get the Stones of the Year award.
Yeah, Balls of the Year award. Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Well, go Fleming. He's in a tough spot, but yeah.
He is.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Jonny, we already talked about him a bit. I mean, he was the model of like consistency, you could say, or just the model of an average team that like never was sweating it all season, or like through this mid-season stretch, which is a good place to be. Like you can feel safe there. You have guys that keep putting up consistent performances like May and Josh Jacobs, and then other guys that started to pop off above what was expected of them, like Marvin Harrison. He grabbed him at the right time when he was on a low, and he grabbed him, and he started playing better. So yeah, but it just all fell apart in 1 week, and that was it for Jonny. That's how it goes in the Guillotine League. You're never safe, really. 31 fab. That was really the big thing, was how much fab he had. He was one of the bigger fab owners remaining, and if you're one of the other fab owners remaining, you love to see this because you just increased your market share incredibly, and that being Potter and Jack now owning that much more of the market because of that. So, and honestly, if Potter or Jack go in like the next week or two, while they still have this much fab, it's gonna be game over for the other one, to be honest. Although that's what happened to me last year. I had the most fab, and then the next guy with the most fab died, and I was like, "Yep, I can literally get anyone I want," and I still died in the final four. So it doesn't guarantee you safety, but it feels good. But yeah, that's Jonny's team. And now the power rankings this week, down to just 8 teams. You're in the Elite 8. I've got Potter bumping up to the top spot. I think a combination of his players plus he has the second most fab, I think, warrants the top spot over Jack, especially with H-An on bye this week. I think Jack can flip it right back if he were to spend some and get a couple more studs in the lineup. But for now, I think Potter's got the better team, bumping down Jack and Jake. Max Walker, I got you guys staying the same. And I think Mitchell and Fleming flip this week. Mainly just based off of all the analytics. I think Mitchell's team has gotten better, and I think Fleming has not gotten as much better as Mitchell. And I've got Ben dropping down to last, shaking things up here on the power rankings. We already touched a little bit on it, but not a huge lover of. I'm concerned about Travion with the Ramondre coming back, and the Devonta Smith volatility. And he did add Brees and what was it, Judkins, but I mentioned how I'm not sure how I feel about their end game-ness, you know? So he spent 10 of his last under $30 on two guys that might not be end game, but we'll see. You got any thoughts, Max?
Yeah, I think Ben's definitely going to take this as a personal attack, for sure. But yeah, I get everything you're saying. I mean, we're going to know. They're going to be, I think, because he's got pretty much everybody's done playing for him before Sunday Night Football, and I think there was one or two other teams who are also like that, who will be done by Sunday Night Football. So Ben could very well be setting the line. Same with who I'm trying to find the other team who's going to be done before Sunday Night Football. It may only be Ben. Jake will be the other. Oh no, he won't. He's got McCaffrey. Who else is there? Hawk will be the other guy, who will be setting the line. So we'll have a pretty good idea of how many points you need to score going into the week. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a bold choice to put Mitchell above anybody right now. But what do I know? I mean, this guy's made it some kind of deal with the devil. I clearly don't know a whole lot about what kind of black magic he's working behind the scenes. I think 4 for me is fine. I didn't really do anything crazy. And I think, aside from Ben, that order, I'd probably put Ben above Mitchell and Fleming because I have more confidence he'll survive than those two guys will.
You think Ben's gonna take it personally?
No, that was just more of a joke.
Ben's
but
never
no,
known to do that.
No, never. No, that was a joke. But I would put Ben above these two guys, above Mitchell and Fleming. I think his team's better than theirs, and he's got Fab. I know there's some volatility in his players, but I mean they've all got good matchups. I mean Henderson's going against Cincinnati. Devontae Smith's going to go up against Dallas. The only one I'm worried about is Breece Hall. Really, I mean Seattle's defense is going to put up a dumb amount of points because they always do. I mean, they've been averaging, I think, over 10 points a week all year.
Yeah.
And now they're going to go up against Cam Ward and Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I think I'd take Ben over Mitchell and Fleming personally. I haven't looked at Walker's team to really know enough. But other than that, I mean, I think power rankings, it is what it is, right? You're just not trying to finish last. It's like in Talladega Nights, you just if you're not first, you're last.
Exactly.
Fuck, I totally lost that one. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. You'll get it next time.
Totally torpedoed that. I deserve to get chopped just for that.
I think I let this drag on long enough.
Yeah.
This is a joke, by the way. Ben, you're not last. I just had to. We let that drag on for like 5 minutes, so at this point, probably you really think it was legit. No, you're probably you have it right, Max. I think I would have put Ben right around 6. The reason I put him in last is because he texted me this week and said, "Hey, I think I'm top 5," and I said, "I didn't say anything, but that's not how this works. You don't tell me."
This guy texted you. He's yearning for love and approval.
He wants it. I know, Ben.
In his power rankings.
I appreciate your passion. I put you at 6 this week, not 5.
Fuck that. That's insane behavior. That's crazy. Why are you going around texting people say, "Hey, move me up this week"? Nah, pal. Make your own power rankings and put yourself at 1. Christ's sake.
No, I appreciate the passion for the game. But that's not how this works. You got to earn it. It's not given. It's earned. And
that's fun.
You know, we'll see. We'll see where you're at in a couple weeks. But for now, just focus on not dying. You retract everything you just said.
Yep.
Defending Ben not being last.
Yep. I got to stand behind the prank. That's
I'm glad you weren't aware of this prank. Ryan would have been aware if he was on.
I don't know the guy well enough, but that's a pretty sick prank.
Hopefully it got him. I hope he messages like in Sleeper reacting to that before I reveal that it's a prank. I was considering not even giving away that it was a prank at all, like until after the video was released, and then maybe I'd send a message later tonight. But no, I'd feel kind of bad. Only a little bit. I only feel a little bad. I hope it was a good prank. Hope we got a good reaction out of him. But Ben doesn't have any votes this week, so that you can live with that, Ben. But also you can live with that knowing that the last 2 people that have gotten eliminated were not voted for at all. So maybe you don't feel good about that. Fleming getting a solid 8 votes. Walker 2, Mitchell 2, Max you're getting 1 somehow. I guess that's possible to happen. Anything's possible.
I think Jack's trying to manifest me getting chopped this week. He's voted for me the last couple weeks. I've looked. He's trying to manifest.
You've got some juicy talent on the team that he probably
I think he wants some of my guys.
And it'd be a win-win because then he would bump up to join Ryan in the 3 club up here. I mean, there's only
Ben would bump up to 7th in the power rankings if I get cut. Ben's guaranteed to move up as long as he doesn't get cut in the power rankings.
Exactly. So Ben, you're on the up.
Guaranteed. Look at that, Ben. There you go.
There you go, buddy. We kid. Okay, I think that's all we got this week. We're gonna wrap it up in just under an hour.
Right on an hour.
Any closing thoughts, Max?
I've said. I think.
I got one thing. Mitchell's getting married this weekend. That'll be funny.
Oh shit!
So I'll be at that wedding. And
well, congratulations, Mitch.
We'll see if Mitchell survives through the wedding weekend. And then also, for next week's video, I should have mentioned this at the beginning because there's probably going to be less people listening now. But next week's video, I probably won't get it out before Thursday because of Thanksgiving stuff going on. But I might put out just something, whether it be a message or a mini video before the Thanksgiving games. But ultimately, and I think I've done this before, I'm going to put out the video probably on Saturday, which will be after the Thursday and the Black Friday game happen. So it'll be a much more informed video because we'll already know where a lot of teams sit going into Monday. But that's probably how I'm going to do it next week, is release the video late on Saturday.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, closing thoughts, don't really have any. Congratulations, Mitch, and I hope your wedding goes well. However, that does not change my vote that I think you're going to be the one to lose today, this week. I will stand firm in my beliefs. But yeah, I hope your wedding goes well. Unfortunately, I'm rooting for you to get cut this week, so we'll see.
Are you actually rooting for it? Because in theory, wouldn't you rather? Well, actually, when you're a team with low fab, you would actually rather a team with not enticing players get chopped, right?
No, I know absolutely, and because it's almost like a wasted week for these pay pigs we have.
Right.
I also really just kind of want to get on the board here.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably not going to catch Ryan. I'm too far behind, but
it's never too late.
It's never too late, but I just want to get my name on the board. That's really the only motivation for picking Mitch. I'm trying to zig when everyone else is zagging right now. You know, everyone's picking Fleming, so I figured I'd pick the other, in my opinion, worst team in the league. Unfortunately, the actual worst team in the league, Ben, doesn't have any votes, so let's get on that.
No, keep it that way, because someone always gets chopped who has no votes.
But no, in all seriousness, yeah, no, good luck. I hope your wedding goes off without a hitch, and good luck, everybody.
Best of luck, everyone. As always, don't get chopped.